Welcome to the Glitch Report, your daily marketing botcast. Brought to you by Leadpages. Here are our hosts, Kai and Luna.
We got three major stories to unpack today.
Buckle up.
Yeah, get ready for a wild ride.
Legal battles.
Platform shifts.
The rise of new influencers.
First up, Google. They're facing a pretty big lawsuit in the UK.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
This is massive. We're talking $7 billion.
Billion with a B.
That's like almost $9 billion. Oof.
Yeah, they're alleging that Google's been abusing its power, using its dominance in search to stifle competition.
Right, and this isn't just about Google making a few extra bucks.
Right.
This is about how their practices could be impacting consumers, everyday people like us.
Absolutely.
So what exactly are they accusing Google of?
Yeah.
Well, the lawsuit is really focusing on a couple of key things.
Okay.
Like forcing Android phone makers to pre-install Google Search in Chrome.
Right.
And even making deals with Apple to make Google the default search engine on Safari. It kind of feels like they're trying to box everyone else out.
Yeah, the argument is that by doing that, limiting choices, they're able to drive up advertising costs.
I see.
And then those costs ultimately get passed down to us, the consumers.
So higher prices for goods and services?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about other companies losing out to Google. This could actually hit everyone's wallets.
Exactly.
Now, of course, Google's denying these claims.
Right.
They're saying that users choose their services because they're the best, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But
it's worth noting that this UK lawsuit is just one of many that Google's facing around the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're facing similar legal challenges globally.
Wow.
Including, a potential breakup of Chrome in the US.
I didn't know about that.
And then they were also recently hit with that big antitrust fine from the EU.
So what does all this mean for, the average person?
It's tough to say for sure at this point. I mean, these lawsuits, if they're successful, they could force Google to make some pretty big changes to how they do business.
Right.
And that could create a much more competitive landscape.
Okay.
Which could potentially give us, more choices, maybe even lower prices in the long run.
Worth keeping an eye on.
Definitely.
Speaking of keeping an eye on things, Threads.
Oh, yeah. Threads.
Massive growth lately.
It's huge.
They just announced that they added more users in November than the entire population of Peru.
Wild. Right.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
That's 35 million new accounts.
In 1 month.
And a crazy 20 million of those signed up after November 14th.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Those numbers, as impressive as they are, they might not be telling the whole story.
Right.
Because we don't actually know how many of those new users are actually active on Threads.
Yeah, are they sticking around? Are they engaged?
Or do they just click a link on Instagram and then poof, gone?
Exactly. What are we really defining as growth here?
Right.
Is it just signups or is it actual engagement?
To really understand Threads' success, we need to look beyond those initial sign-up numbers.
And start looking at things like daily active users.
Or time spent on the platform.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what's happening on LinkedIn.
Okay.
B2B influencer marketing. Seems like it's really heating up.
Oh, it is. It's definitely a hot topic.
And LinkedIn's got some pretty interesting insights into this trend.
Yeah, they do.
So they did a survey, and they found that 87%, a whopping 87% of B2B buyers would rather hear from a trusted industry influencer.
Wow.
Than from branded marketing messages.
Interesting.
It's like people want that more personal touch, that authentic voice.
Absolutely. I think people are, maybe a little tired of, the traditional corporate sales pitch.
Yeah.
It feels more genuine coming from a person they trust.
It makes sense. It's like getting a recommendation from a friend versus a company trying to sell you something.
Exactly.
And it seems like these influencers are particularly effective during that consideration stage.
Oh, for sure.
When buyers are weighing their options.
Big time.
Yeah.
That's when having a trusted voice can make all the difference.
Right.
But it's not just about that consideration phase, though.
Yeah.
They can also play a big role in that earlier awareness stage.
Okay.
Helping to get a brand on people's radar.
I see.
Think of it like planting seeds.
Got it. So what makes a B2B influencer effective? What are those qualities that buyers are looking for?
Expertise.
Makes sense.
Trustworthiness and authenticity.
Okay, so you got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be reliable.
Right.
And you got to be real.
Absolutely. People can spot a phony a mile away.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? LinkedIn found something else pretty interesting. It turns out that your own employees, they might actually be your most powerful advocates.
How so?
They found that the combined following of a company's employees, it's usually like 12 times larger than the company's own following.
Wow, that's crazy.
Makes you think, right? We're all kind of like mini influencers.
In a way, yeah.
Think about it. Your connections, your network, they value your opinion.
Right.
And if you genuinely believe in your company and its products, your voice, it can really carry weight.
It's true.
All right, so there you have it. Google's legal battles, Thread's uncertain growth, and the rise of B2B influencers.
The marketing landscape, it's a wild ride, always changing.
So as we navigate this crazy world, it's worth asking ourselves, what marketing trends are we excited about?
Or maybe a little worried about.
Yeah, food for thought.
For sure.